Hi, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. Today we've got a couple of tasks to cover, and I just wanted to show everybody what it is that we were talking about the other day. So we have some new situations that were created by the NOFO, birthed out of the NOFO for this program year. And so we're updating the situations on the customer application and in the eligibility review process. So we have some of your customers who have already been enrolled who will not be able to, you won't be able to edit their application because the application is locked down once you have enrolled that customer. So what we have is, this is an amended spreadsheet. So there were 4 of you, I believe 3 or 4 of you that already sent me your spreadsheet. So if you marked the I have a brother or sister who dropped out of school, that item is being deleted, but we do have a new item that was added that says my home is dysfunctional due to mental health or substance use. So those, this column about being dropped out of school, I'm just going to delete that column. But if you can go back through and check your people for this last item and then send me a list. I'm going to put the words for this last item in the chat so that you can add it to your spreadsheet if you already sent me your spreadsheet. If you need a new version of the spreadsheet, I'm going to email that out later today. I'm going to start a brand new thread so that we don't have all of the confusion with the other thread. Now, there are a number of other items that are still there because I know we had a question about that, you know, like there's some of these items. So here's what is the black text ones are still there. They were there, they still are there, they're going to still be there. The red text items on this list are what's on this spreadsheet that I gave you. And then we changed the words or hid all of these ones that are down here in the gray boxes. So there are some of these that we just changed the language on them and decided just to make a new situation. But I just wanted to show you that there were a couple of them that there were specific concerns about that are still in there. They're just not on this particular spreadsheet because this is what I have to have you fill out so that I can have my programmer update them all at one time. So now let me answer any questions about the spreadsheet and what you have to do with them. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question. So if we want to avoid the spreadsheet, and we are enrolling some youth soon, is there a date when these will be live and we can just make sure that they do their application after they're live?
I believe they are live right now
This is just for backdated
for
information. Okay.
previously enrolled customers. And if you have not verified the eligibility, you can update it with that as well. The
Okay.
only item that is not going to be in there yet is going to be this very last item, and I'm hoping that that's added as of today.
Okay.
So if you've got people that you have not reviewed the eligibility or they have not completed the application and they're going to be doing it soon, that's great. But
Okay.
if their eligibility was reviewed and they were enrolled prior to, say, this week, then I need the spreadsheet filled out.
Okay.
And if you're on category 1, You don't have to worry about it at all. I just need to know that you're category 1 because I don't have a specific list of agencies that are only doing category 1. So from some of the emails, I have found out that Always Giving Back Foundation, LMW Group, MICVA, New Original Ministries, and those are doing only category 1. So if you want to let me know that, then I won't expect a list from you. Okie doke.
Where do we find this spreadsheet to fill it
I
out?
emailed it out last week, but I'm going to email it out again after we're done with the meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So if you lost it, or if you didn't ever see it in the first place, then just watch for this new one.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Tammy asked me if this is for youth enrolled from July to now. Yes. If they are enrolled, if they're just sitting in eligibility, then you can update it in their eligibility review. Okay, moving on. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's Janice, and I sent you an email, but I was able to jump on. I want to make certain because I came in midway. Once we actually receive the email that you're going to send out with the spreadsheet, if we are only category 1,
You
then
don't have
all
to
we
worry
need,
about it.
we just sent. Okay, thank you. Thank
right.
you.
Kate, are you drinking Monster?
My kid was up at 1:30 this morning, so
Oh,
second Monster and a cup of coffee.
all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I think you guys might appreciate knowing how to do this. If you are clicking into your group, and I'm in test right now, so this is giving me just test customers. From the reports page, this is how you can update customer services relatively easily. So if you scroll down on the page, you might not see this many reports, but the customer services report gives you a listing of your customers and whether or not they have a particular step or service. So if I click into it's going to be DHS Youth in production. And if I select my provider, my grantee, which is my name, I can filter my list. And this should give you all of the pre-populated steps that were in there, plus any steps that you might have added to any of your customers. So for example, I know that, was it Rockford that wanted a particular step added in the previous program? And it was something that we kind of added as a pre-populated step now. But if you add that step to one customer, it will show up in this list. So I'm going to take this to a 50 services view. And in here, what it does is it gives you all of those services. So one of the things that you can do, and especially for all y'all that are just doing category 1 and it's a short time frame, you can fill out the services on one of your customers, especially if it's the pre-populated steps. Those are going to all be there. But if you've got any other specific steps that you add, just make sure that one customer is complete. Then what you can do is you can look at this. Oh, and by the way, we are adding another column that says evaluated, not required. That column is getting added. It's in programming right now. So we're adding that column in here just so that you can mark them. What happens then is if you look at these numbers, it says 30 people right here are not started. So you can filter by, you can filter in here too, whether they're open or closed. You can filter, this is my agency. You can filter by start date and end date range if you're looking to update specific people. So on here, I'm going to click on this 30 people that have that service added to their profile, to their career plan, but it is in a not started status. So what all you have to do here is, we've got Maxwell. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Anyway, okay, so I've got to fix this. Maxwell Apprenticeship is doing a boo-boo on me. But what I can do is I can go in here and I can shift the status to started or successful completion or unsuccessful completion or evaluated not required. And then I put in the start date, the end date, the planned due date, and how many weekly hours. And that will update the step for all of those customers. And all you have to do at the very bottom is click save, and you can update all of your customers in one fell swoop. You have to do it a step or service at a time. And then if it is the evaluated not required, I do believe that even in here, the start date and end date will not be required. But I have to follow up with my programmer to make sure that that happens in here as well. All right, now I talked about that pretty fast. So what kind of questions do I need to re-demonstrate or show you? I can change some of these and show you what the end result looks like. So if I do started, and Max started it on October 1 and finished it on December 2. And then I go back up here, the planned due date was, let's see, let's make it December 3. And then the last column is weekly hours. We have 10 weekly hours. And then Galaxy S5 was in the same group, so I can do started. Well, actually what I can do with Max is I can say successful completion because he ended it. And so same thing with Galaxy S5, I can do 10, and I can do 12, and I can do 12, and that was 10 hours a week. So if I save that, then, oh goodness gracious. Oh, I need to take a screenshot, folks. Give me 1 second. While it's happening, I need to send the message off. Anyway, so it's supposed to save this. Let me find another one that isn't going to give me fits like this. Okay. Successful completion. Successful completion. This way you can catch up your steps if you need to. And what did I do? I did January. See, when you're in test, things don't always work the way they're supposed to. That's why we have test. All right, so then if I save this, it successfully updated the service. If I go back to my report and refresh the screen, it will then tell me that I have 2 successful completions and 0 not started. So that will work very well for you if you need to update a whole bunch of people all at one time. So now, if I need to demo something, I need to pick one that's got a smaller number. But is there anybody that has any questions about this, or do I need to repeat it again?
I do. Can you go to one that maybe has like 10 that's not started? And then what if you, okay, try the 6th one. And so do they all have to be the same?
I don't know. That's a question that I'm going to have to ask, or I'm going to have to try it here. So let's try this. So they started the start date. That's a start date. This is, well, let's try a successful completion, and we'll try March 1, February 1. Let's try March 1 here. Let's try March 2 here. And let's try evaluated, not required. And let's try started. And let's put some end dates in here. So the end date is not required, but the planned due date was. So let's put in I'm going to cheat here a little bit. Save it. Failed to update services. What I didn't get that message. Make sure all required fields are filled in. They are all, aren't they? Yes.
It looks like this planned date on the first section, planned due date, it has the date is entered with two forward slashes, 12.
Oh,
Maybe
thank you for
that's
catching that. Let's try. There we go. All right, so I put in different statuses for that and different dates. So that should work based on your query. And who was that? That was the 6th one. Let me refresh the page. All right, so we've got 0, we've got 4 that are started, 7. The evaluated not required won't show because we don't have that column in here yet, but it will be. All right, any other questions about that? Daryl, did that cover your question? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Dee, this is Mary.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Good.
Okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing. But would this help us with the one requirement where we have to have 50% of the services completed?
It will help you figure out who has what done and who doesn't have it done.
Okay.
Because you can look at this. You can look at this and say, 30% not started. Well, of that, you got 31 customers with the step. So you can look at these numbers and see what needs to be updated for people. Yeah.
All right, so now we're able to filter by year, because I noticed that before it would like give last year totals too.
Yes. So let me do. So that's from the beginning of the program year, only I think y'all were doing an October one, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can do the program year, or else we could do. So, but you still see some people in here like start a permanent job as part of this program, not started, stipend, incentive-based experience, not started. And then if you've got people that are started, but they're not done, then you know that you need to update those as well.
Okay. All right. Very good. Good job.
Oh, this has been around. I just hadn't taken the time to show y'all. So this should help you.
It does. It really does.
All right. Any other questions about this? All right. Do we have any questions? I don't even know if Brandon's on the call. He told me he was going to be. Do we have any?
Here.
Okay.
I'm here,
Do we
Dean.
have any questions for Brandon that he can answer that might need to be recorded? Otherwise, I'm going to turn off the recording in case we need to answer specific customer questions.
I want to go back to the for the risk.
The spreadsheet?
Yeah, the spreadsheet for the risk. But so now we'll be able to capture those totals in a report.
No, you're going to have to talk to each of your customers to find out, because these are all new risk items.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this updated so that we can capture them in a report, because many of these items are being included in your PPR reports. So we have to have the data to be able to create the report.
And what day are we supposed to have this back to you by?
Well, I guess I can extend it till Friday, maybe next Tuesday. How long do you think? I don't know how many customers some of you have, so I want to give you time to be able to touch base with them. But this would give you an opportunity to do a good case note on, like a monthly follow-up kind of thing.
Okay.
But the longer we push this back, the longer it's going to take to get the data.
All right. For us, I think probably next Tuesday, because we have to reach out to everybody that's on our list.
All right. Anybody else have you can put it in the chat if you want to. Do you have another idea? Does Tuesday work for you guys? All right, so LaDon's saying yes. Aunt Martha's is saying yes. All right, so we'll have it due by next Tuesday. You need to reach out to your customers, and for a couple of few agencies that already submitted, thank you very much, I appreciate it. But we need to find out about that last item. I did put that in the chat. My home is dysfunctional due to mental health or substance use. And I've got 73 people on the call, but only 65 have voted. So if you can please vote for your attendance, I would appreciate it.
Hey, Dee, this is Janice again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, had you given thought to maybe an upcoming date that you could look at a meeting with just the summer only? Because I know I have some questions, but I don't feel like I want to ask them now and rehash some things, but I know because it probably has more to do with summer only and, you know, the requirements. So, or should we just email you and ask, are you willing to kind of do?
Well, we were planning on doing one to, like, me to the category 1 people event, a webinar. Brandon, we talked about a date for a quarterly meeting, but that was going to be the end of April. We need to do something early in April for all the category 1 people.
Yes, the quarterly meeting's not until April 23rd, it looks like.
Yeah.
So we can definitely do something before then. It is, I mean, almost every provider is doing, you know, like over 75% of the providers pretty much are doing category 1. So, I mean, it's going to be a big meeting still.
Well, Brandon, why don't you and I talk about a date? Maybe we do it on an off Tuesday from our regular Tuesday TA sessions. Maybe we do it that second Tuesday in April. What do you think about trying to do that?
Yeah, we can set a date soon. I was gonna say it still would probably be at the beginning of April because we've got to get this PPR. There's other things first, the PPR, and then there's going to be the new reapplication for funding. It's not a NOFO, it's a non-NOFO, but for the new application, I mean, those things have to be done first.
Okay. And all right, so we'll figure out a date and we'll get you informed of that either by email or by message. Something else that used to be available. Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say on that staying with that topic, the most common questions why I've got people on here about category 1, just so like probably two most common questions. One is the funding only through June 30th? Yes. The funding you guys have right now is for this grant year. This grant year ends June 30th. So you have to budget for, you know, basically you're going to be enrolling youth in May and they can start working into May, beginning of June. But your grant award is up until June 30th. Then everyone's going to reapply and you'll get new money, a new grant award beginning July 1st. So the program category 1 does go June, July, and August. But this is a weird year and it'll be the only year because from now on you'll have funding for July, August, and then it'll be June of the next year. It'll be fully funded, I guess I should say. With it starting September 1st, it's just a really weird year that the funding goes through June 30th. So that's the most common questions I've got was that. And then when can you start enrolling students? And that's, or youth, I should say, when you can start enrolling youth for category 1, and that's after May 1st.
But after we go back, because I know most of the trainings almost all of them are recorded, and we pretty much could find you know, all the guidance you've been given in the recorded trainings, we are able to just reach out to you regardless of scheduled meeting times if
Oh, of
we
course,
still
of
need.
course.
Yes. Okay. I think that will probably help. Okay.
All right. And LaDon had asked, will youth that, Tammy, yes, we just need the spreadsheet. LaDon asked if the youth that have not been verified in the system yet, you can go to their current application and update the situations. So this is really, the spreadsheet is really only for those youth who have been enrolled. They've actually been enrolled in one of your programs and you cannot access their application any longer. All right, so I'll get this sent out later after the meeting is done, and I will add everybody to the list. If you did already, thank you, send me your list. Just check that last item for me for any of those people. All right, any other questions for the good of the whole that can be recorded? All right, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day. If you have questions about specific customers, I am going to stop the recording now and I will stay for a few minutes and answer those questions.